All right. Well, hey guys, and welcome to 607 Ballbusters. I'm Zach.
I'm Braedyn.
I'm John.
A little bit of a different crew tonight. We got John on here, and then Braden's back again. Aaron might be on in a little bit. Brandyn might be here, not sure. Hopefully our audio is good this time. I know we were a little quiet last time we did the stream, but we should be good this time around. Um, John, you want to give a quick intro for the new channel since you weren't on here last time?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Um, my name is John Tiffany. I've been bowling in this area, Binghamton, New York area for probably, Jesus, 30 years by now. And I currently have a 219 average. I have a high game of 300 and a high series of 796.
Nice.
All right. His wife Melissa will also be featured on the channel from time to time, so be on the lookout for that. Um, anyway, this is going to be a little bit of a quicker live, not the almost 3 hours that it was last time, unless we get rambling like we always do. But one of the main focus topics I want to talk about with you guys and get the audience involved as well is the new USBC certification and completed testing of string pins. So what was it? They were certified back in mid-April, and then they completed their testing just about 10 days ago now that they did not notice enough of a difference between string pin and free fall pins to warrant having the averages be flexed like they do house shot versus sport shot. John or Braedyn, either of you guys want to comment on this at all?
Um,
Brady, you can go first if you want, if you have anything.
I where did string pins come from, like originally? Because I feel like this just started popping up like a few months ago, or at least from what I've noticed. Like, what was the purpose behind like having the strings in versus free fall?
I think honestly, a lot of it is because of the decline of availability of parts for uh, mechanical pin setters, and they decided to go with the string pins because it was less mechanics and easier to work on. Um, and obviously, it doesn't require hardly any parts. Um, Costs centers a ton less money. Um, yeah, I mean, it seems very carnival esque, the idea of string pins,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's very cost effective from everything that I've been reading on it.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know Ideal mentioned because I was talking, or I shouldn't say Ideal, but Derek mentioned because he was talking about it, that there wouldn't be a need for, really a mechanic, so to speak. The person running the front desk could run out back and untangle the pins if they get tangled up or, one pops off or whatever, and then go back to what they were doing. So, I mean, it's cost effective from a payroll standpoint as well. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't see a benefit. I've had some buddies of mine go up to Watkins Glen and bowl on them when they did the go bowling thing back over the summer, and they said it was an absolute nightmare.
Really?
Granted, they didn't when they oiled the lanes, they didn't burn a lane first because there wasn't a lane to burn, and they were throwing plastic house balls, like the ones that kind of look like giant billiards balls.
Hmm.
So I mean, you're not. It's not like they're throwing a clone out there or something, or a VIP. They're throwing a plastic ball, but.
Yeah.
Bobby, what's going on, buddy? How are you? So, I, I don't know. I personally don't agree with the thought of them. Like, if a center like Ripix wants to put them in like over in their 6 lane spot, and cut their league size down, or if Midway wants to, add more attraction or something, then that's one thing. But
Yeah, but
I don't like the thought of them on like certified sanctioned competition.
mm-hmm. I what's the the carry can't be very good on them. Like or the pin action, like it just has to suck on them. It just has to.
John, you want to talk about what Luke talked about versus with a 220 there?
So basically, carry is terrible. If you're a spray and spray and pray bowler, it just throws it at the pocket as hard as you can, just to knock down all the pins. You're gonna leave some ridiculous leaves. You have to be much more accurate. You have to pretty much bury the pocket every single shot to get them to all fall down. Now, on the flip side of that, if you're, I don't know what regulations USBC is going to go with, but a lot of the footage that has been floating around the internet the last 10 days, basically, if your strings are too long or too short, basically you can just throw your ball pretty much anywhere on the lane and it will knock down all the pins. I saw
Really?
a clip the other.
Or if you happen to split, you have like a 98% chance of picking up that split as long as you shoot one pin in that general direction, not even accurate.
That's what I was just gonna segue into. Was I saw a clip yesterday of a guy who left the 2-7-8-10, and he drilled the 7-pin head on. It bounced up into the pit, out, knocked over the 8, and fell forward into the 2, and then the 10 just randomly fell.
Like
yeah.
There's no way that those strings are configured properly. There's no way.
It's like, has there been other reasons for, other than cost effectiveness? Like, has there actually been more competitiveness, or a reason that PBA will see fit than free fall? Like,
basically everything that I'm hearing is PBA will not be adopting this. This will be for USBC only.
Yeah. And but here's the other thing that I've heard though, is that a lot of the Bolero centers are going to be adopting the string pins, and there's quite a few Bolero stops on the PBA tour this upcoming year and the PWBA tour this upcoming year. So unless there's going to be segments of lanes, because I mean Bolero houses, genuinely speaking, are rather large, so unless they're going to only convert half the house to string and the other half to keep it free fall, but even then that's going to cut your tournament rate down, because you're not going to have as many lanes to be able to give for the bowlers. I mean, like to have 150 entries across 68 lanes or whatever, you're only going to have 34 lanes, and to try and cram 150 entries on 34 lanes, you're talking approximately 5 bowlers per lane, and it's going to make qualifying take twice, if not 3 times as long.
Yeah.
Because typically, and I mean, Braedyn, you and I have both done the regional qualifying. I mean, you had what, 3, maybe 4 on a pair?
I think it was
3 for qualifying,
and
even then it still took all day. I mean, between both blocks, it took 2 blocks. It took us like 8.5 hours.
I have a strong feeling that if this eventually does make its way into the PBA, it will not start at the PBA. It will be the PWBA.
Probably
will be experimented on first.
That or the juniors. The juniors will be the guinea pigs.
Yeah, the junior, junior programs.
I almost wonder if it'll be junior. Like, I almost feel like it'll go junior, 50-60, PW, PBA.
Yeah.
Is almost how I feel like that would go.
If
they're not going to implement it full swing.
Yep.
At least that's my thought process.
I would say, are the strings just attached at the head of the pin, or is it like, okay?
That's what it looks like anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like, but I'm like, who knows right now?
Yeah.
It just also looks so stupid. Like, it looks so silly. Like.
Well, that's just it. So there's a YouTuber 220 average bowler who
I was
posted a
about to,
video.
I brought up his video for the
I said,
stream.
yeah, so and it said this is why they should be illegal or something like that. And those strings, and Luke Rosedale was talking about this last week or 2 weeks ago. Those strings are nowhere near what they should be. That is not the pin action that you see whatsoever. That is not a certified center. I mean, like he was hitting, like, I mean, he would hit, like, leave a pocket 10 pin, something would be spinning in the back trying, for whatever reason, and the string would just catch it enough and boom.
Also, I'm wondering how the strings will affect. I wonder if they'll do any damage to the ball itself. Like if it gets caught back there for any reason.
Yeah, because I'm not sure what those.
Like if the strings get tangled.
Yeah, if they get tangled or they get caught around the ball or something like that. Like, I don't know how long they are if they are able to do that.
I wouldn't think so.
I don't think
you might see a couple
on the strings for them to get tangled around the ball, but they're very susceptible to get tangled around each other.
Yeah.
You might see like a mark or something like you would like a belt mark, but it's not. It's not like you're gonna see the strings come up to bring the pins back up into the deck or into the rack, and then all of a sudden, oh look, there's my bowling ball going with it. Like,
yeah.
I don't think there's enough slack, at least in the certified centers.
I would say, and this is gonna reward people who just can push, like any ball, like the balls that can literally just push the pins back is just gonna explode in popularity if this happens, because it's not so much pin action anymore. You're just needing to snowplow your way through, and you'll be fine.
Right.
Because it's not like you're gonna get explosive pin action where the pins are going
Absolutely.
every which way and everything. And I guess one benefit of this, but it's so minor, is that you're not gonna have a pin in the gutter or on the lane anymore. But that's like such a minor inconvenience. Like it's not gonna, it kills the time and you have to wait a little bit, but still, it's not even a good pro to have against the cons it has right now.
See, and then again, that right there, that point also stems back to not needing mechanics as much, because there's not going to be those out of range calls anymore. There's not going to be waiting for pins because you're just going to have those 10 pins. You're not going to need a 180 or anything like that. I mean, it's going to be a simple, you knock down your shot, thing comes down, it racks it up, it sets down whatever pins were left, if any, and sets the rest back down.
Yeah. Zach Kinga in here. He said
your deadwood call
too.
Will be nothing. Your out of range calls will be nothing. Your 180 calls will be nothing. Pretty much the only thing that you would have to worry about is when they get tangled up.
Yeah.
You'd have to have somebody go back there and untangle them.
Yeah.
No telling how long that takes or what that actually entails. The other thing that I wanted to bring up was going off of the out of range calls. So yeah, you won't get out of range, but the problem is those pins are always going to be that pin. So your head pin is always going to be the head pin. Your 2 pin and your 3 pin are always going to be the 2 and 3. They're never going to switch places, and they're going to take significant abuse.
Braedyn's got to change everything now.
Yeah, I thought it was just. Okay, give me.
So, off topic. This is a 607 ball buster first. 5 of us are here.
And of course, I'm the late one.
Excuse me?
No camera?
No, not that I.
That's fine.
Lame. Just kidding.
Aaron got it here tonight.
Yeah. I was kidding, but. Say, Aaron got a nice 3-point.
Yeah, Charlie got a nice 10-point.
Yeah, I did. And then decapitated the damn thing and sent me a picture of it.
Nice.
Just cut the head clean off and dozy.
Dozer.
I apologize for the stream. For
Eh,
this.
We'll get
got
it.
the
they're-
heat
you
they're
know
looking
how
for.
often they're used to this kind of crap.
Mind you, I've been home long enough to take my shoes off and refill my drink.
There you go.
Solid. I ended up making more food on top of what we had for dinner today.
Nice. Yeah, we'll get the stream situated here in a second, guys. Sorry about this.
I still have my hunting knife on my belt loop.
So anyway, so Aaron, Brandon, just catch you guys up. We're talking about USB-C and their certification and testing of string pins.
Oh Lord.
Oh gosh, no. Just
Mm-mm.
no.
Just straight up.
No.
So save the grueling comments in a second.
I'd say we'll get there.
So, going back to the very beginning, Zach, you said that USB-C did their testing, and it was within what 2 pins of free fall.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull, because I have it on my computer right here. Let me see if I can find it really quick.
I find that hard to believe. There's just 2 pins.
There's no statistically significant difference between the scoring pace of USB-C certified string pin setters and traditional freefall machines. It doesn't appear to give 2 games. Let's see. The test had sufficient statistical power to identify a difference of 4 pins or larger had it existed. So that's if they needed to change it.
Right.
So it goes, more than 500 bowlers participated in the study, including more than 300 bowlers who participated in at least 2 sessions. The study featured more than 3,500 games bowled. The data from the research shows that there is no statistically significant difference between the scoring pace of pin setter types when controlled in the same environment. The difference in scoring do not relate to bowlers' averages, ages, or genders. The test had sufficient statistical power to identify a difference of 4 pins or larger if it had existed. And an average conversion between the pin setter types will not be necessary. The rule change only applies to USB-C certified string pin setters. Older string pin setters that have not been converted for certification remain uncertified for USB-C competition. Yeah, I don't see anything about an exact number of what the difference was. I'm still kind of scrolling through.
Well,
That's
all I
actually
was
can
going to
find
say,
anything.
Good. I just want to make
I
sure.
feel like the configuration that they should be looking for is not one where there's a difference. There should be one where there's no difference.
Yeah.
Like I would
Yeah,
like to see them repeat their study, but using different length strings and regularly switching out the pins so that way you're not beating the shit out of same 1 pin, 2 pin, 3 pin.
And also,
Yeah.
did they test? So I would just like to see how different types of balls react with it.
Right. No, absolutely.
Why do I feel like this is just gonna contradict? Like, if they were to go through with the string pin, I feel like this is just gonna completely contradict their entire urethane statements, because urethane's just gonna be more prevalent because of the push.
Bray, just a heads up, I'm kind of cut off on it a little bit. You're asking about the setup?
I
Yeah.
think that's because you are right next to me, so I don't know if I can. If I extend this out, I think it goes towards me. Oh no, I can actually extend it out. Never mind, I lie.
You liar.
I know.
I actually there's a PDF report, or there's an actual report that I'm trying to
There you go.
get to load on my computer, and we know how my computer is. There we go. That's better.
I would say if you
I
want.
was gonna say, give it about 10 minutes and it'll load.
Yeah. But yeah. So anyway. So Brandon and Aaron, other than just no,
Give us your
What are
thoughts
your
and
guys' thoughts?
opinions.
A lot more bullshit carry.
I was gonna say,
Oh yeah.
I've watched Packy's one video. There was trip pins that were never touched by anything, and it was just strings crossing.
Oh, I didn't even think
Like-
about the string tripping the pen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's not anything natural carry at all.
No.
Like, it gives it an advantage in some cases. Like, you could have really bad carry one night and still carry a strike, instead of it being like what you deserve. Like if you knew you threw 9 and you struck because of the string, that's kind of defeats
I feel
the
like this
purpose
would
of
be.
fair play.
Yeah, I feel like Zach, what you said
Mhm.
about like if Ripix were to do this, like throw in just like two pairs or something like that. I feel like that'd be good for like little kids who want to get into bowling, and that'd be a good entry start.
Yes. I agree
That'd
with that.
actually
I
be
can
not
agree.
not a bad idea. That way they can still utilize it. That's less lanes that they have to kind of operate, but still they can keep it free fall and competitive integrity on that end.
See, and one thing that you guys need to keep in mind, and we were talking about this before you came in here, is was Packy bowling on certified pin setters? 220 average bowler. John, go ahead.
Luke actually did talk to him. Their facility is not certified. So
Okay, so then that yeah.
string lengths may be too short, maybe too long. I would imagine that if they have more length, they would be able to knock down neighboring pins just by, touching strings.
by physics.
So no certified
that-
lane has tested them.
Right, so this is only done on certified pin setters, this test here. 220 average bowler is another one that went and had made a video, and I talked about this earlier. It literally is quote, "This is why string pin bowling should be illegal."
Mm-hmm.
It was the same thing. The pin setters were not certified at all. Then you have people who have bowled on these certified pin setters, and like Luke Rosedahl that John was just talking about, and the carry is nothing like that whatsoever. Now, I do agree that, and John said it best, it's going to have a carnival type feel to it, at least at first. And again, Braedyn, I think, had a good point of, or maybe it was Brandyn or somebody said this about, having kids start out on it. Because unfortunately, I think one day that is going to be what bowling is through and through, is string pins. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised within the next 20 years, maybe 30 years, every single pin setter in bowling is string pin, because the A2 machines are already impossible for the most part to get at least new parts for, the old Brunswick A2s. And that's coincidentally what Ideal has.
Now, I do have to say one thing that I agree with John on. Like he said, you're hitting the same pin over and over constantly. It's not getting the same abuse. I mean, it's getting the same abuse, but it's like, okay, now that back rack, it's not quite getting the abuse as if it was shuffled into a different position, which causes that pin to still be stiffer than the ones that are up front. Which causes in my opinion, a little bit of... I mean, it's consistent, but it'd be... the pins aren't breaking in as even. It'd be kind of harder to get those further corners because they're not getting the abuse from the ball.
Yeah. And the 1, 2, 3, and honestly, even the 5 pin too, are going to have to be replaced a hell of a lot more.
Yes.
Than, the 4, 6, and then the back row.
Yes, because those are the direct impact pins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So coming down to it, you're actually looking at probably replacing more pins than you would cycling through an entire, like, what? They have to cycle them, every year, 2 years? 3 years?
They like to do it every year. It doesn't always quite happen that way.
Yeah. Like, it would cost more to replace literally those front 4 or 5 a year than it would to
I would say instead of replacing your pins every year, you're having to either replace or at least rotate them every quarter, probably.
Hmm.
So,
I would say I
if
pulled
not
up
more.
the.
And then these front like that middle bucket, the 1, 2, 3, 5, is gonna. Those pins are eventually gonna snap
Mhm.
because they're getting hit the
Mm.
most.
I would say I pulled
And
up
then
the.
what? You're gonna have to replace it mid-match or
Yeah.
mid-tournament, anything like that. And then what? It's gonna take a little time off, and people are gonna find that to be like, oh, because of this, it's causing an unfair competitive advantage
I would say I
because
pulled
it's
up.
causing them to length off and get iced.
Hey, let Braedyn speak.
It's fine. I pulled up the video again for the stream, and literally it was coming up with he had the 610, and then the 6 he only hits the 6, but as the 6 winds back in, the string knocks down the 10 pin. And it's before the bar comes down, or the sheet, whatever it's called.
Sweet.
So it's like, what do you like? It's just ridiculous.
Got an echo from somebody.
I don't hear one.
Hello.
Nope.
No, like I heard, like I don't know if one of you guys just pulled up the stream.
Oh,
heard
I just
Brandyn say as the
pulled it
bar-
up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then it was just because I heard as the bar comes down.
Yep.
Yeah, so
But
yeah, it's just ridiculous.
I see we got 4 people in here. If anyone wants to, you know,
Comment.
ask some questions, make some
I'm one of
comments.
them.
Thoughts on
Tell us-
string pin?
Yeah, give us your
Yeah.
thoughts on the string pins.
If we missed anything.
So all we got here so far is Bobby saying "Ayo."
Yeah. I feel like it's just very childish.
The string pins, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just so childish.
Thanks, Aaron.
You're welcome.
Piper. No.
No.
Piper does not like the string pin idea.
Yeah. Who came up with this idea though? Who came up with string pin?
Yeah. Seriously.
Like, was it
I'm
like?
not sure.
Oh, I'm looking this up.
John, do you have any idea?
String pin bowling.
He's situating.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was on YouTube for a second.
You're good.
What were you saying? Sorry.
no, you're good. Do you happen to know who came up with like the concept of string pins?
I do not. No.
String pin carry ruins normal carry, says
Yes.
Bobby.
Well, yeah. It's just.
And I mean, if you. Yeah. I was gonna say, even so, even if you do look at the video, yeah, it's not certified. None of that within Packy and everything. The pins do kind of tweak. I mean, the strings kind of do tweak the pins in a certain way.
I think we'll
So.
just see a lot more people throwing balls that push, rather than have some explosiveness to it. And then it's just gonna be a boring thing to watch.
I was gonna say, because I feel like if you're gonna have something that's push, you're not really gonna have to focus on the angles. You're gonna more rely on.
Like pearls.
You're gonna have to
are-
rely on all of it.
Pearls are just kind of are going to be only used to for instead of the carry of it, it's just going to create a shape, and that's it. It's not utilizing its full potential.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is just push through the pins and you're good.
Now, Braedyn, I kind of want you to elaborate a little bit more on your thought process when you're saying you feel like this is kind of contradicting USBC's urethane announcement.
Well, because urethane.
What did you mean by that?
PBA is trying to do away with a lot of urethane and try to limit the how much it's being used on the tour and everything. But then, let's be real, the urethane seems to be gonna be the thing to be big numbers for string pin, because all it's doing is pushing through. It's like urethane's never, like, unless you're a two-hander and you get some massive revs, you're not exploding the pins a lot with a urethane or microcell or whatever kind of ball. You're looking for that push, and that's what string pins are kind of wanting to go towards. So that's why I'm like, you want to get rid of or limit the amount of urethane that's being thrown, but then you're kind of forcing the hand of urethane to come back.
Sure. That's fair. I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone have any care to comment on that?
No, because I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
I really do.
But
Aaron, John?
Just to add on to that, even if you're not throwing urethane, you don't have to worry too much about hitting a specific line, because I feel if you hit anywhere within like the 1-3 or the 1-2 pocket zone, you're probably gonna push through everything anyways.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like even watching Aaron the other night. Sorry, Braedyn.
No,
even
you're fine.
watching Aaron the other night. Actually, Friday, he pushed the middle pocket, like all 3 pockets at once, and struck at least 4 or 5 times. That can happen at any point in time and not leave what it's supposed to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, he could probably throw a whole game pushing all 3 pockets and throw a 3 with string pin.
Yeah.
I could honestly probably throw Brooklyn all frames and probably still strike it.
And also again with bowling balls, instead of the cover, I feel like lighter cores are just gonna explode with them, because it's not like it's not, again, you don't need that explosiveness of that big core to send messengers and everything. It's just gonna kind of puke it, I guess, and then you'll still strike. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you could throw a tropical surge and it'd be fun. Like, it just strike with it.
John, let's get our M&Ms out there.
Yep, pretty much.
Hey. Top throw hybrid coming soon.
Fuck you.
Braedyn is so salty.
I pick it up tomorrow.
He does, though.
Braedyn wanted the pink ball.
I wanted the pink. I wanted the pretty pink.
He wanted the pretty pink ball and the pretty pink band pad.
Yeah.
Well,
I also wanted that too.
And I'm drilling that with pin in the ring finger.
Why?
I'm
why?
very
That's my
intrigued.
question. Why?
Because it's actually gonna kill the sucker, to be honest.
Doug suggests it as a good low flare option.
Say that again. Sorry.
It'll definitely conserve energy, but getting it to get to the pocket might be a little bit of a challenge.
It's a hybrid, not a full pearl.
Look at my tilt, and
I was gonna say Aaron's tilt will make it go too.
Oh, let's say with you that makes sense because of how much spin.
If you just look at everything natural, I'd make remember Zach's old PBR.
Yeah.
Z couldn't make it move. I get my hands on it, and it was moving about 10, 15 boards at times.
Yeah. See, here's my thing though. I don't know. And here's why I say. Oh, I just missed this. Piper said she feels like it's cheating.
It feels like it pretty much is.
But you also have to keep in mind though, I did the same layout with the reality check. I put the pin in the ring finger, and that, I mean, John, you saw me surface that thing down to 500, 1,000, how many times, and it didn't do a damn thing.
Yep, didn't do anything.
And then Aaron, even you threw it, and same thing. It really didn't do much.
It kept leaving me corner pins.
Yes, I mean, I just worry that a ball of that stature. I mean, it's got, the original thrill core in there, not even the halogen, but it's got the original thrill core. And I worry that that's going to tame it out too much, especially now where everywhere we bowl is going to be synthetic, that it may not be the shape that you're looking for.
No, let him ruin it. Let him ruin it so I can have it.
I
Let him
mean,
get
I've only-
sick of the
Braedyn-
ball, and then 3 months
Braedyn
later,
is
I'll just
acting-
come in here.
Braedyn is acting like this is the last top thrill hybrid in existence.
I know, but still.
it's not gonna be though.
No, it's not. But it's yeah. I still.
I
like
mean,
the ball, so.
Lord.
No,
Well, I mean, Zach, I took a risk. Remember
his empire.
my Empire? That's drilled out in the middle finger,
Yeah.
and that's not
Well-
kicked out very far either.
No, I thought you put that in the ring finger also.
Nope,
No, that's in the middle finger. I
that
remember.
one's in the middle
'Cause
finger.
I was there when he drilled it.
I only
And
So
the,
experiment
my
with
Pride
it.
Empire
CG,
is just
It's
above,
legit like this far from the thumbhole.
Ugh.
Oh yeah.
What's that, John?
and-
I was gonna say I only experimented with that once. I had a proton physics with a pin in the ring, and I had a hustle ink with a pin down.
Yeah, no.
And the proton looked great with that layout, but hustle not so much. Left a lot of flat corners.
Yeah.
Had a lot of trouble getting it.
I would say I usually
Here's-
keep all my drilling pretty much the same. It's kind of it's like kind of just a little diagonally off the ring finger. It's not much.
Mm-hmm.
My pride and my Zen are the outliers because the Pride Empire I just have it above. I have it a little bit above the ring finger, and then the Zen I have it really above the ring finger. But everything else is like over just diagonally across the ring.
Yeah.
I'll say this.
See,
this
and
be
like-
my-
Go on.
this be one of my 3 outliers I have. I only have 1 pin down. Now I have 1 pin in the ring. Then I have my one that's sky high, which is my blue tank,
Blue tank.
Everything
got rid of
else
my
is
blue
drilled
tank.
pretty much the same.
within a half an inch of each other, if not inch.
I'd say I just got rid of my blue tank.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Well, it's a 14, and I just don't have a use for it currently, so I gave it to Tom. Sold it to him.
I may have a desert tank for sale if someone wants it.
No, you gave away your ambush. I wanted that ambush too.
Hey, it's going to Charlie.
I know.
At least it's within the group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not damn.
All he
other
has to
one of us
do
except for
is
maybe
fill in
John
the
will be
thumb
able to
hole
frickin'
because
fit the span.
Yeah.
well, he doesn't. Does he use a thumb? I thought he filled in his thumb.
Yeah, he fill. That's right. He fills in a thumb.
Yeah, but say so. That's all he needs to do with it.
Yeah, that should be fine for him. And the other thing about that drilling for my top throw hybrid, instead of CG out to the right, it's gonna be CG in the palm. He's kind of tilting the core a little bit.
Mm.
Almost going oppo.
Yes,
So
without
Kind of like to what I did with my pride, just in the form of a lefty.
Yeah.
so
yeah.
See, but there are some people that like pin down layouts just don't work well for. Like John, you were kind of saying that you're kind of one of those people. The pin down just doesn't necessarily work well for you.
Yeah, I just struggled with that. I mean, granted, it was a hustle ink, but I mean,
I've never tried
Right.
to pin
Yeah. I mean, if you
down.
try it on like a True Dynamics or a clone or something, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But and then there's me. My Forza SS is pinned down, my Ripcord launch is pinned down, and now my M&M is pinned down. And even though I don't throw the SS a whole lot anymore, I freaking love the way all 3 of them react, especially now that I polish the living hell out of that Ripcord launch.
I've never had a ball that was pinned down. I don't think, other than like
Pinned on?
sparrows. Pinned down.
Pinned on.
Pinned on.
See, and one thing about pin down layouts with certain type of balls, Doug said it best. If you're gonna have a pin down ball, I think he said that's pearl symmetric. If you're gonna have that pin down, make sure you bring your spare ball. I'm like, like I don't disagree, but I've also thrown front 9 with that Ripcord launch 3 times.
Yeah.
So
You have.
All 3
Um,
times subbing for Nitty Gritty at Midway last year.
I'd say I
I'd
think
like to
the
see what'll
only
happen.
yeah the only pin downs I had was the hustle wrap and my super Enzo.
Yeah.
Zach, I'd like to see what happens if you take that M&M, crack that Actigloss cover on it, take it down to like 500 or 1,000, and then bring it back with that and applied polish plus. I like to see what it
So,
does.
so basically, do what I did with the launch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do what I did with my
Okay.
Empire, and I did it with John's Empire too.
Yeah.
do we want to give league updates for the week?
We can. John, has a little bit more to do, so I don't know if John wants to start it.
What's that?
Just
league update. We did league updates a couple weeks ago when you weren't here, like for like how the
Okay.
season's been going. Mine was very short because I'm a dumbass. But
That's your own fault, though.
Yeah, let me pull it up 1 second. I got my recap sheets right here.
I'll say mine's actually
No.
a good week.
yeah, but I had a good week
So,
this week.
I don't know if how many of you have heard. I you guys bowl on Tuesdays at Ripix, right? Or no?
No.
Or sub? No. So
I mean, I sub Tuesdays, you know that, but
yeah,
they do Tuesdays.
So
So Aaron and Brandon are Tuesdays at Midway.
I'm Wednesday
So-
at Ripix.
Becky Rippick's teammate, I'm not gonna name just for the sake of this stream.
Yep.
He fell off a ladder, I guess, and broke his back. And he has a very large rod, I guess, holding his spine together pretty much.
Ooh.
Basically, he's not going to be able to bowl the rest of the season, so I'm filling in for him the rest of the year. So Tuesday I went 614. Thursday, which is our nitty gritty league at Ripix, I went 675, and then shot 609 on Friday at Ideal. So it was pretty good. Used the clone and the phase 3.
Nice.
Nice. Solid.
Pretty solid, yeah.
And John, how's your season as a whole going? Because you haven't really been on since the season started.
As a whole,
You-
I would say it's going pretty well. I mean, I was a little nervous to start the league, start the season. Didn't do so hot during the summer. I thought that was going to carry on into the fall season. Specifically Thursday, having switched from Midway to Ripix, we my very first game in that league was a 128. And I was like, this is gonna be awesome. But ended up coming back with, I think it was like a 220, 230, and then ended up having 298 last game.
Yeah, and then last game they go live for him.
Yeah,
All
they
sorts of
go live.
300.
I have been live more this season than I have ever. I think I've already been live like 5 times at Ripix.
Yeah.
I remember you going live. They're putting you up when you were against us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, off to a great start. I'm very happy with where I am.
That's good.
It's awesome.
Who would like to go next?
I'll get my crapshoot out of the way, I guess. So I subbed Thursday with John for our buddy Kevin. And I shot a 632, 216, 206, 210. So really consistent night. I mean, and it was against the team that I used to bowl for in that league a couple years ago before I met John and everybody. So it was a really fun night for me. I'm talking shit to those guys the whole night long, and it was a great time. And then the bowling gods gave me the biggest fuck you I've received ever. Other than when I shot a 13, realizing I was coming down with the flu. and I shot a 516 Friday night. I hit a mental wall about halfway through game two, and I was checked out. I didn't even say this to my team. I'm saying this for the first time now. I was ready to pack up and go home and not even finish the night, honestly. 183 game one with the worst. Huh?
I'm really surprised you didn't, honestly.
I wasn't gonna do that to you guys. You know, I was still having, regardless of how shitty I was bowling, I was still, aside from one person, I was still having fun with my friends. So
Yep.
that's the important part. Yeah, I went 183 with the worst carry in the world, and then a $149. I think I maybe had 2 marks the entire game. One, two. Okay, I actually had 5 marks, surprisingly. But I went 9 open, strike, 9 open, 6-3, 9 spare, 9 open, strike, 6-2, strike, strike, 9 spare. And then brought it back for my high game on the night of a 184. So.
Did you string together more than 2 all night?
I think in the third game. Yeah, third game I had 3.
Okay.
I would say it was a little funny because on that night I was coming. Every time I tried to come over to like watch you and like see if I could help you at all, every time I come over you just strike. I'm like, I can't really help you much if you're just striking every time I watch you. My presence just need to be there apparently.
Right.
But so I guess I'll go next. So I finally got out of my slump that I was in, and my wrists, I've gotten better control with my wrists, so it doesn't hurt as much. So it was still a little weak on Monday. Well, not too badly. I shot 616 with a 175, 247, and then a 194. And then on Wednesday, I popped off. I was just straight. I just fell in a groove. I shot 708, I believe, for a series, and then it was a 708 for a series. Game one was a 237. Second game was a 204, but it was I didn't miss. Like I never missed the pocket other than like one ball. It just for some reason wasn't carrying a lot. And then I fixed in the third game with a 267, had the front 9, and then left the 3-pin. So I did really good there. And then had the sub in for 2 games on Friday. And then that was, I think, let me get it up. It's fucking ads on lead secretary. It was a 212 and then a okay, it's not like it's a 212 and then like a 247, I think. So for the 2 games that I was there. Again, I don't think I really missed the pocket. I think I only had 2 balls that was like I just got outside and then it just hooked up and then but it only left me like 1 pin at a time, so never had an issue with it. But who wants to go next? B or Aaron?
So, B, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You spoke first.
Okay. Well, I will say this. I'm back. Tuesday night, 7:08.
Oh.
It's been a while. What did I shoot?
Solid.
What did I shoot Friday? B 640 something. 650.
650 because we had a battle going Friday. Just between you and me, we had a battle going.
What, second game I was up on you by 15?
15 pins, and I come back and beat you by 19 in the third. For a total series of 669 to 650.
Oh,
It was very, very. I was like, I'm not letting you beat me. He was so determined to beat me. I was determined to beat him. It was just like a bloodbath. It was awesome. Friday.
I think my low game between both nights was 194.
And I had a 191, and that was game one.
And 194 was actually Friday.
Yep. Like, he did not miss 2 except for that second game Friday.
Jeez.
Other than that,
Brandyn, you've had a lot of 660s so far this season, haven't you?
yeah.
And yet my average is still higher.
So
You know I had to.
I know. So Midway was kind of upsetting time per se.
Shocker.
Not really a shocker because that's where I was holding 220. It was like, okay.
I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, I was hitting pocket. I was just missing small things, but I mean mainly it was the factor of I wasn't able to string enough together. So I ended up shooting a 187 in game 1. Going from there to a 176, only throwing the blue coral. And then John and Aaron are like, dude, you need to do something. Well, I went and got my Pride Empire out of the car. I broke the streak.
Dude, Pride Empire is just good. That's all I threw.
I broke the streak of the one challenge I gave myself this year, and that was to throw nothing but the blue coral, my favorite ball. And I end up going 237, throwing it to the 2 board out to the 5 and back. That's how much of a difference that is. But all in all, it was like, this sucks. But that was Tuesday. That was Tuesday at Midway. Let's go out here to Ripix. Thursday. I end up shooting 621. I'm like, okay. What? I threw Pride Empire the entire night? Ended up shooting 220, 186, 215 for the 621.
No, I switched you to the Odyssey game 3.
Oh, you did. Yeah, that's right. He ended up switching me to the Odyssey game 3. Because I went double, 9 spare, 7 spare, 7 spare. I was starting to lose my carry, and Aaron's like, go into your Odyssey. Double, 7-1, I ended up chopping the 3-6-10 nose. Turkey out in a 9 count. I was like, okay, 215, 621, not bad. I'll take it. And then turn around, as I already explained before, Midway League was not Midway, Ideal ended up being a battle between me and Aaron. It was very clean, other than missing 2 10 pins in the second game. Still hitting a 234 game 2. Couldn't find much of any carry in the game 1, but found the carry in game 2 and game 3. For a 191, 234, 244. To beat Aaron by
There
19. To beat Aaron by 19 after he was up on me by 15 in game 2.
And then, beat me by like 180.
Yeah. I came over to you second game and you're like, no. Like, ouch.
Yeah, I'm like, just go away. I love you.
Just
Go away.
I love you. Go
That's
the
all right.
fuck away.
Yeah, get those low scores out of your system.
Yeah.
I almost went down to the clinic that Rhonda Haas puts on today.
Mm-hmm.
it's free and it's just like, make sure my mechanics are in check and whatnot. But I'm like, I don't feel like doing a damn thing. I'm like, I've got enough work shirts and jeans and whatnot to get me through the work week for 3 days. So screw it. I'm not doing a damn. I didn't even do laundry today. Like I was going to. I'm like, nope. I'm laying low and doing nothing.
Solid. Sometimes you need those mental days
Mm-hmm.
to not do anything.
Mine was a nice mental day. As you can
Yeah,
see,
you were out
I
in the
did.
woods.
Me, a gun, nature,
Who you
And-
shoot it with?
and
Yeah, what'd you end up shooting it with? Yeah.
my .6, my 30-06.
Nice.
Nice.
It was
Boiler
maybe
room?
15, 20 yards off my tree stand. If I had a
That's a
long
good
enough
shot.
branch, I could have poked it.
That's
That's a little close.
I pretty much didn't need to sight in on it. It went down.
I'm surprised they let you go for it. Like I'm surprised none of them tried taking it.
I was by myself. I was.
Oh, you're by yourself.
I was in my own stand we set up earlier this summer. Everyone
Nice.
else was elsewhere.
Nice.
Who is excited for synthetic over ideal?
I am.
Everyone is.
I say, like I said in my post, I'm sad to see the wood go because that's all
Mhm.
I've ever known for that house, as
Mhm.
actually all of us have.
Yeah.
But just with me having a family connection to it. But by the same token, I am excited for a new beginning.
Mind you, SB, I was really hyped for the synthetics when the first night of Lee I showed up, expecting full synthetic.
And
To the
then
point-
nope.
Yeah. To the
I
point
could have
had
sworn I
big
told you
notes.
they weren't going until November.
No, you never said
Mm-mm.
2 words to us.
Nope.
So-
Not 2 fucking words.
Whoops.
I'm just
So
excited.
are we all bowling Black Friday? Or
Me and
only some
Aaron
of us?
are.
I say Scoregasms, which is Braedyn's team technically, is set to bowl already. ONFTP is
Okay,
set to
we
bowl
down
already,
there.
and then we're stepping in for somebody.
I would say I'll be down there. Will I be bowling? I don't know.
But you'll at least be there.
Yeah, I'll always be there.
So basically, next Friday will be our last time bowling on the wood lanes at Ideal.
Thank God.
Cherish it.
I think I'm
will
literally gonna. I
cherish
think,
it.
Oh, God,
honest
cherish
to
it.
God, honest to God, John, honest to God, don't kill me. I think I'm literally gonna bring Blue Tank, Rally, and like Revenant. Call it a night.
Oh, no,
I'm
I don't blame
I'm telling you right now, Zach, if we get on those synthetics, like fresh, and we're up against you, and I see that, I'm gonna be pissed.
Okay, Mr. Pitch Black.
The only
Hey,
So-
that was in the storm phase, okay? Leave me alone.
So I've heard that they're experimenting with what new oil pattern they're going to use on the synthetics on the wood. They've already been toying with the house shot. Is this correct?
They have been. They have, as far as I know, they have been.
But it's going to react completely different,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
'Cause, I mean, you have to take into consideration the 50,
Which is
60
why-
years worth of topography changes.
which is so the first bay alone was installed in 1947.
Oh,
So
Pretty old.
Yeah.
So 76 years,
Jesus.
Yep.
something along
So,
those lines.
That's a lot of topography
So-
changes. It's going to be very different when
Yeah.
it's translated onto fresh synthetic.
But honestly, if they're not toying with it, then I would like to know why, as a whole, scores are so low compared to years past.
From
I
what
mean,
I've
like,
heard,
usually Ideal as a whole has had at least, I'm gonna say 10 or so 300s by now, and they've had 3 with the same bowlers.
from
800.
everything I've heard,
Not many.
new pins. Those are new pins down there.
That's right.
That too.
I completely forgot the.
But I mean,
ideas.
we've all bowled on new pins before our lives, and I think it's safe to say that new pins do not normally carry this wonky, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean?
No.
So like,
No.
entry
they don't.
angle is very, I think getting down lane isn't the easiest. Like, I'm sorry, but take me for example. The fact that I couldn't get my phase 2 much past 45 feet before it started. I'm sorry, 40 feet before it started breaking, and I had to polish the son of a bitch. That shouldn't be a thing.
Mm-mm.
And yeah, here I am throwing my Pride Empire.
But again, a polished ball.
Mm.
Like, I cannot throw a sanded ball other than maybe my blue tank ideal to save my life.
I'm fine.
Actually,
So am I.
I've had a few 700s on the lanes and some good high scores. So
Oh,
I'm like,
so have I. But
My
it's,
Black
I'm
Phantoms look
talking
decent.
I'm talking in the last few weeks. I'm talking the last probably month.
So I'm going to call it right now. I think there is going to be a massive, maybe not massive, definitely a paradigm shift of bowling scores once they make this switch. And I think what we're going to see is about half of the people who only bowl ideal, they're going to start dropping an average. And the people who don't normally shoot at ideal are going to start scoring better.
Yeah.
I
So
think
those,
that's
so like literally, so I think all of us will do either the same or better because
Yep.
we are used to synthetics already. Whereas you have, your people like John, like you just said, like I can think of a few off the top of my head, and for sake of shame, I won't name them, that have only bowled ideal for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, except for maybe once or twice. I think they're going to struggle.
I can definitely see
exactly.
that happening.
Like
Yeah.
I've had a few people come up to me and be like, "You bowl on synthetic. What do I need to do to be what's different?"
Like
like,
to
well-
prepare themselves for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What ball should I do? Like, are my balls going to react fine? Do I need different balls? Like, I'm like, okay, it's not that extreme.
I about to say, for me,
Yeah.
it just seems like the difference is one's a little more reactive than the other. Like synthetic's a little more reactive than the other. For me personally.
And synthetics got a little bit of more carry down in the dry.
Yeah,
than
that's
wood
about
does.
it. The only thing I'm really looking forward to, and this is just literally my personal preference of things, is I'll be able to focus on the lane a lot more because of where I look on the lanes. Because I first look at the pins, I draw back my line to the arrows, and then I look even further and try to pick out a board on the lane, like a little.
You
like
can't really tell that there.
Yeah,
with
not
wood.
ideal. It's so hard to like individually, like if you're not close up to it, it's so hard to identify the individual
Mhm.
boards. But like Ripix, you can easily do it. That's the only thing I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to. I mean, I know I know where to throw at ideal, and I know where to look and everything. It's just gonna make it a lot easier for me to pick out my mark, and that's it. That's it, really. That's all I'm looking forward to.
So one thing, just to give you guys a little bit of an insight. So the approaches are not changing.
I wish.
The
Okay.
gutters in the second bay are not changing. The actual machines are not changing.
I knew that.
It's just the lane surfaces and then the gutters in the first and third bay.
So why?
Because I'm
Sorry.
getting to that. Because we are going to have the bumpers that are actually in the lanes, rather than having to bring in the freaking pipes all the time. Now I don't know if it's gonna be the ones that we have to take the stick and pull them up,
Or
if
are
it's
they
gonna
going to
be
be the autos?
Yeah, it's gonna be the autos. I have no idea. But
Is there new system
What about
going in as
Index?
well or no?
new system, yes, Braedyn. New
Okay.
system will be going in.
I
I
couldn't remember
believe
if I
so
like made
on the
that
Index,
up in my
John.
head.
I'm pretty sure. I'll have more clarification on that probably Wednesday. About the Pindex. I'm hoping.
I'd have to imagine that probably new Pendex would be imperative if they're getting brand new synthetic lane sheets.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what system they're going to?
No, Derek gave me like a list and he wasn't sure which one. They
I
should
kinda
get
wish-
new backdrops too. So Bobby, those ones are actually reversible. So each bay has two different
Backdrop.
screens, backdrops. I don't know if they're gonna be getting some other new ones as well. One thing at a time. They still need to rip out the carpet and finish changing the ceiling tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they go to the system Ripik says. I really like
It's
that.
not that. I know
No?
it's not that.
I really like the stats that they give. I don't know, it's just helpful.
That was almost like self-censored, and I loved that. Thanks, Braedyn.
Bobby, that is actually not even an actual backdrop. Because I know someone who bowls there on the regular. They actually chroma key that in after the fact.
Wait, who? Wait.
He said he likes the Motive ones that Spectrum Lanes has, like the backdrops.
Yeah.
But those are actually chroma keyed in after. Because I have a buddy of mine, Theo, who bowls at Spectrum Lanes where they do their reviews, and
Oh, really?
that's not actually there.
Interesting.
So they're morely projected.
They're chroma keyed in editing.
That's
That's
screwed
pretty.
up.
That's pretty
messed
cool
up.
though.
And yeah, it's cool, but that's
because
messed
because
up.
it looks like it's actually there.
I mean, that just gives them more power to do whatever kind of backdrop they
That's
want,
true.
though, too.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see it being easier to do the projections rather than just chroma keying it because from a pure editing standpoint, having the chroma key, if you switch like angles or like your camera's moving, you have to individually like key like animate those frames and everything.
Why do you think they run three different cameras that are all? Why do you think they run three different camera angles that are all stationary?
True. But it's still a nightmare and a half.
Just imagine because it's chroma keyed in, they just one video they put up and it's just like EJ Tackett's face on all the freaking backdrops.
Oh my god.
All right, what else we got?
I do remember I said I was gonna make an announcement last time, but I got so fucking tired.
I do remember that. So Brandyn, why don't you hit that?
Okay, so I have talked to Aaron. I have not gotten a chance to speak with any of you guys.
No, so we're doing this live and in person. Okay.
Yes. So I have. One day I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna give back to the community that gave me my chance to do what I was doing. And gave me the opportunity to keep in with bowling and end up meeting you guys. Creating the family that I have. So, here in the summertime at the Green Bowlodrome, here in Green, I have permission after the winter leagues to run a 3-day camp in Green.
Oh.
Wow.
That's
and
sick.
From Sean Miller himself. And I got to work out all the details, but I said there's possibly going to be anywhere around 3 to 4 coaches. Being any of you guys and John Green to come down and share the knowledge that we've all learned, everything. And Sean's like, approved. You have any 3 days for a weekend. You can have a end of the year bash. You could have up to like 40 people per session.
Have you picked up?
And I'm like,
yet?
No, I still got to work on that.
Okay.
But I'm thinking about doing it as to where we run age groups of 10 to 13, not like 10 to 13, like 8 to 13.
Yeah, that can work.
14 to 16, 17 to 21, so we can share the experiences that we've learned of being part of CTD and some of the PBA experiences that we've all been in.
Okay. That's sick, actually.
Giving back to the community and even inviting out the school team to come in within their respective age groups.
I know you also dropped me on Friday, possibly the Special Olympics.
Yes. Also, Morgan brought up the idea of bringing the Special Olympics kids.
That's
so
nice.
Bringing them in also.
It's very cool.
Doing that kind of on a Sunday morning and then having the end of the year thing like 5 hours, the end of end of the camp thing at the end, running for about 5 hours, doing
That's
like a
pretty
little
cool.
ball, doing like a couple ball raffles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's honestly, yeah, that's amazing.
So there's your guys' open invite. Once I get dates and stuff, I can let you guys know time frames, all that.
Sweet.
Yeah, I know someone who at least was watching the stream. I don't know if he's still here, but has mentioned he's always wanted to bowl at the Bowlodrome. And that's Bobby.
I think he's still here.
I believe he's still here because our viewer count has not changed.
Fair.
So, all in all, down here at the Green Bowlodrome, sometime after the winter season is over, I will be running a camp to give back to the community that kept me into bowling, achieving what I wanted to achieve, and meet the family that I have now.
Let's go.
It's very cool.
Yeah, that is
I like
sick.
that.
Awesome.
And that was no less than a 10-minute conversation with the owner. That was it.
No, that is really sick to do.
I'm really excited for it.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
As well, you
something to
should be. That's a
do.
huge opportunity,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just for you, but for all of us, and to give back to the community.
Mm-hmm. And to be quite honest, not that I'm looking towards this. If the school team does come out, that means the superintendent's going to come out. The first year after I graduated high school, I went for the coaching job in Green, and they declined me because I didn't have qualifications over these guys that are coaching now. And now that I technically do, I may end up with another job, and that's coaching the school team.
There you go. That'd be sick.
Like I wanted to.
Oh,
Yes,
Yes, Zach.
that's Zach.
So, remember I was trying to get the graph to load up for the string pins a while ago about the difference in scores?
It finally
Yeah.
loaded.
Finally loaded.
Jesus, do you want Jesus?
What?
Christ.
What? Like a half hour later?
How about an
Just
hour?
about. Yeah.
So, when reviewing averages bowled in the study versus the home averages of bowlers, we find that bowlers performed approximately 13 pins lower in the study than their respective home averages. However, the difference was independent of the pin setter type bowled on at the ITRC, which is where they held this. It makes perfect sense that bowlers were bowled a bit worse in the study due to unfamiliarity with the center and lane pattern, study's limitation on ball selection, limited number of games, and learn to adapt. The difference in average was separated from string pin to free fall in that particular center less.
Less than 2?
1.2.
Wow.
So
What?
that's might be
173.6 to 174.8.
so they actually averaged higher on string or higher on
No.
free
Lower.
fall.
Higher on free fall.
Low,
Yeah.
higher on free
But only
fall.
by one.
I mean, that's
in
kind of a breath of
percentage.
fresh air.
Jesus.
That's
Yeah.
comparable, but they have to be configured properly.
Correct. You know, and so there's a couple pie charts here as well. So just for example, bowlers comments on carry, 47% notice a less carry on strings than on free fall. 20% noticed they carried more on strings, and 33% noticed no observable difference.
I'm guessing your 47% are probably the spray and pray bowlers.
I think so.
Probably.
Mhm.
I feel like
Most
if you're
likely.
seeing more carry on string, it's just because just how they act. It's like, yeah, I guess you're gonna see more carry, but less of pin action.
Maybe also your
I don't
lefty
know.
bowlers.
Like I said earlier, you're not going to be worried about focusing on hitting their actual mark.
Yeah, so
Just
it's
got to
like,
get it within a general range, and hopefully you hit anywhere from the 1-3 to Brooklyn and carry the world.
Mm.
So long as they're configured properly.
yeah.
But that in
Yep.
itself could be a full-time job or 2 full-time jobs, just working at a center to make sure string lengths are in accordance to the USBC. You know, pins are rotated normally. Things
They're
like
not getting
that.
overstretched, because we don't even know what
Yeah,
these strings are made out of.
yeah, exactly. And they do get stretched and they do snap. So whatever they're made
Yeah.
out of is not strong.
You could get someone like a certain redheaded bowler that we all know that gets irritated and just huffs a ball, and all of a sudden, oh look, a pin or a string is snapped.
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
very
there's a
true.
pin halfway down the lane.
How'd that happen? Oh look, the string's still attached, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Braedyn, if I shut my camera off, is it gonna do anything?
Maybe.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Okay, because I gotta take a phone call.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
I say it
Didn't really
messed
do
up my
much.
screen. Didn't do much.
It's.
So
I'm not gonna change it. It didn't warrant anything.
okay.
It just
So
changed the order.
oh yeah, that's not a big deal. And even then, once he comes back, it'll go back. So in the interim, one thing that we talked about last time that John was not here for, and I would like to, if he doesn't mind, give a quick talk about. John, what's been in your bag this season?
Okay, so actually, I've had quite a large change this season. Those of you who have seen my posts recently on Facebook, I built a ball rack for 10 balls, and I still have 2 3-ball rollers and 1 loose ball in my living room, and 2 at the pro shop at Rippick's Carousel Lanes. So I have a lot of balls this season.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
Mostly though,
Damn,
I have
John, you
been
got a lot of
using
balls.
I have a lot of balls. But mostly this season, I've been using the clone, a phase 2 or phase 3, I should say, and the ice spare ball. Those have been my big 3. I've been trying to experiment with different equipment here and there. Parallax looks pretty good at Ripix, but not so well at Ideal. Again, that might be inconsequential because we're going to be getting the synthetic lanes. X3 really hasn't looked too good for me this season. I've hardly used the gem at all. What else?
Revenant and M&M.
Revenant and M&M. So I'd like to start using those 2 a little bit more. Probably stick with the Revenant at Ripix and maybe use M&M exclusively at Ideal. So I have those 2. What else? Nova and Rubicon. Those are both my 14-pound balls, so I hardly use those. But I did use the Rubicon a few weeks ago and had a 727 with it. So that was pretty good. What else?
Dark Moss.
Dark Moss, I actually sold that to Tony on Mondays.
Oh, very
He
cool.
has the Dark Moss and he has the reality check.
Okay. You still have the
He
second
has
Dark
the-
Moss not drilled, obviously, but
Second Dark Moss is undrilled. It is in the ball rack downstairs. It is in bag and sitting next to the new in box Sunstorm that we still have. But currently at Ripix right now is an Omega Crux. So looking forward to getting another one of those and throwing that again.
I'm still so surprised after your story about the Omega Crux that you got another one.
So you know how I got that original Omega Crux? Did I tell you that?
You won it, didn't you?
Yeah, when they released that PBA video game, PBA
Yeah.
Pro Bowling, they did a Facebook contest, and Melissa and I both entered, and I won. And
Yeah.
I got to choose.
You won.
I got to choose any ball that was on the list of balls that were in the game, and I kind of picked myself because there was a few balls on there that are some serious gems. Like getting one brand new would have been a fortune. Like
Yeah.
they had a brainstorm that I could have got. Jeff said that was a 600-pound ball easily, or $600 ball.
600 pound.
That's a heavy ball. That's a big ball, dude. That's a big. It's a big fucking ball. But anyway,
That's a Sheldon.
yeah. So
That's a Sheldon Cooper brain right there.
yeah, exactly. So there was that one. They did send me a revised list. The first list actually did have a Alpha Crux on it. But then, because that ball was not featured in the game, the Omega Crux was. Then they offered that one instead. And there was a few other ones on there. I actually, Zach, if I could find the list, I'll send it to you sometime. But
Yeah, I'd be curious to see it.
there were some serious gems on there. But yeah, I didn't have hardly any games on it. I didn't like the way it rolled, so I sold it. And so, but I kicked myself.
Now, I don't know if our viewers know the story of your hatred for the scent of the ball,
Oh,
but
Fireball.
you've told it on the live. You've told it on the live before. But what was it? You got like seriously drunk off of Fireball whiskey like the night before it got delivered or something?
No, it was Melissa's 30th birthday, and
Oh,
that
okay.
was that would have been the April before we got the ball, which was probably almost a full year. But I still had that ingrained in my senses. And I was just like, no. Literally as soon as I brought the box in, like, what's that smell? Like, open it up. Yep, that's the ball. That's the ball.
Great.
Cinnamon Fireball whiskey.
No, I mean, granted, I mean, there's a couple videos of you up on the channel now and stuff. You know, you don't start with the ball, way up near your face. I mean, it's not like, like you go to set up, take take a breath before you go and then go. Because if you do, you might, but
So usually I'll put my hand on the ball and I'll pick it up off the rack. But the motion, because it was so pungent, just picking it up and kind of moving it past my face, it just hit me and I just gag a little bit. But no, I'm looking
puke on
forward.
the lane. Don't puke on the lane. Don't puke on the lane.
Yeah, don't puke on the lane. Don't do that. There's no puking in bowling.
Oh, just
So, yeah,
launching balls into the ceiling.
Yep. I'm looking forward to getting that one back, throwing it. Definitely a reaction that I don't want to say didn't appreciate, didn't know I needed until it was gone. And then by then I kind of just supplemented that with other equipment and that was that. I never looked back, but now that I have an opportunity to get another one, I'm glad that I jumped on it.
Oh, you got that from Dan?
Got it from Dan, yes.
Very cool.
Yep.
That's what's in John's bag. We all went through our bags last week or 2 weeks ago. Braedyn, we got anything else? I know we talked about some topics before we started. Or is there anything that anyone here wants to talk about, or anyone in the chat wants us to talk about?
I will say real quick, still continuing with what's in your bag. I am actually in the process, early stages of getting some overseas storm equipment.
Are you?
Yes. Very early
Gary
stages.
Grover specials?
Well, I'm not at liberty to discuss that right now. But possibly.
That's a yes.
Well, actually, I've been eyeing for a while because I really like my Wolverine. Bowler Smart actually does have a Wolverine Strike, which is the solid version of the S70 response cover. So might pull the trigger on that just because it's only $140. So
see, I'm still eyeing that UFO alert. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're just saying screw it and getting rid of whatever surplus stock they have. So they have that. The Phase 4 is still on there, available. What was the other one? Altered Reality. I think those actually might have sold out though.
Aaron.
I don't see any. What's that?
No, I was saying Aaron because he loved that ball.
Oh yeah.
The one storm
Actually,
ball I liked a lot.
Let me double check. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how a solid Wolverine will look.
That will
Yeah.
definitely be interesting.
Well, I pretty much had the Dark Moss at like 2,000 every time I threw it, and that was also one of those balls. I was like, not sure what to think about it. Not sure if I'm really gonna like it. But as soon as I, it ships at 4K fast, which they discontinued all the balls that were finished like that. Yeah, Altered Reality is still on Buller's Mart, $199.95. Compared to the surplus stock of Wolverine Dark Mosses, which are $109.95. Want to get another one? I can. They have a burner hybrid overseas. So
Burner hybrid, huh?
Burner hybrid, yeah. They have a Zen Asura, which is just a recolor. Zen Karma, again another recolor. It looks alarmingly like the UC2. Badger Extreme Blow. Not sure what that is. 900 Global Vintage. It has this. It's a same core numbers as the Phase, but it has the Zenyu cover on it. So that's interesting. The Wolverine Mutant, which has the S7, which has the Zen cover on the Wolverine. That's an interesting combination. The Reality Solid, which is just a recolor. And like I said, the Wolverine Strike. So got some really good stuff on there. So a lot of it's priced pretty fairly. The rest of it, not so much. Like I can't see myself paying $270 for a honey badger.
Gee, no.
Yeah. For real.
Anyway, that's it. That's all I had.
Aaron, anything?
Not really.
Braedyn, what's the I don't know. If you don't have anything, what's the upload schedule looking like?
We'll have 2 videos hopefully coming out next week. They should be done by Tuesday, but it's whenever they get uploaded in that week. Just another 2 short ones. We do have a longer one coming out soon, just whenever I get the file from Brandyn for it. So, other than that, I got nothing more right now.
We are talking still about doing the 50 strike challenge that Packy put up a couple months ago.
That's right.
We were going to do it back around the time that it was posted, but then, life got crazy between me breaking myself and, just kind of life events happening for all 5 of us, really. So, we weren't able to do it then, but we do want to make sure we get it done at some point.
Yep.
Another thing we're going to be doing in about 2.5, 3 months. This year's most of us will be doing this year's Crosstown Doubles tournament. I am bowling with my buddy Alex Sovey. Braedyn, I'm not sure who you were bowling with. I thought you were doing it.
I don't know yet.
No, I know you were talking about doing it that night.
Me and Brandon
Aaron,
are
aren't you doing it?
teaming.
I'd say you guys are
Yep,
teaming.
it says you and Brandon. John, we got the other 4 guys from Nitty Gritty. They're teaming up again.
Yep, that's right.
I think they're keeping their same pairs from last year. I know Riley and Tom are doing it.
Yep.
I think Charlie and Keith are doing it.
Yes.
Mhm.
PJ and Alex. So it's gonna be a lot. We're gonna make up a lot of it this year. Honestly, we're probably gonna make up a good 10% of the entries between our whole Venn diagram of circles.
Mm-hmm.
So we just gotta get Braedyn in it. I know John's taking this session off, but might do it with me next session.
About it.
Yeah,
Just depends on all
certain
what I'm
life
doing.
events have put a kind of temporary hold
Yep.
on that. So
Yes, absolutely. life happens, and some life events
Hey,
are absolute amazing things. And
Love you.
I thought Brandon was coming back, but Braedyn was stepping away for a second, I guess. Um, well, now we got to keep it going because Braedyn's the one that can end it.
No, that's fine.
What?
So,
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
no, I
Sorry,
guess
I'm here.
I said we gotta. No, you're good. I didn't want to really end it without Brandon being back, but I also don't know how long he's gonna be because I don't know what's going on. I mean, I know part of what's going on, but I don't know if that's what this is. Let me see if I can at least get him to text me really quick.
Zach, maybe for
yeah.
some of us that might not know, what is the 50 strike challenge?
Oh yeah. So the 50, he's actually texting me right now. Cool. So the 50 strike challenge. So Packy and I forget what his friend's name was. I want to say it was Ben, but I could totally be wrong on that. Wanted to basically see how many shots it would take them to throw 50 strikes. And they were going to do a donation to any charity or bowling program if the YouTube subscriber beat them, and then we have to do it to, or the subscriber has to do it to, I think they're doing it for Wichita State, if they don't beat them. And they set a goal of 73, I believe.
Damn.
I know EJ and Ron Hicklin did it in 71, and I've seen a couple other people do it in like 69 and things like that. But I mean, it takes a lot. So the one rule is it has to be a pair. So we couldn't get all 5 of us together and just run it and probably do it in like 57 attempts. Like we can't do that, unfortunately. But I had an idea of doing it maybe with a subscriber. Like I was thinking about maybe seeing like if Bobby wanted to do it, just as an idea. But yeah, so that's the gist of it.
That's just the gist of it.
If the 3 of you actually want to just kind of keep going, Braedyn, if you want to take over and just come up with some topics, or John, if you want to talk about anything maybe Luke's talked about, anything that's relevant, I'll be back in just a second.
Okay.
Sure.
We got any exciting releases for bowling balls? You guys excited for?
Motive just had the nuclear forge, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
That just came out. Came out.
What are the
a month ago?
early reviews looking like for that, or haven't you guys really paid much
I haven't
attention
read
to
any
it?
early reviews of online, but just everyone I've heard from, like in person, and from me throwing it personally at the test drive event, it's a good ball. It's really good. Like just with the basic pin up that they have for the test drive event,
Yep.
it was insane of how much you can get just barely around it, and it just come back and just strike from anywhere. I think they really nailed it with that core cover combo.
Is this a new cover on the forge
No,
that they're using?
so it's the same cover as the Supra and the Pride Empire, just tweaked a little bit, just how they do it for any
Okay.
ball. But it's still that
Oh, no.
propulsion. Did you not
Oh,
realize it was the
God.
same one?
I didn't realize that. No, I did not realize that.
It's the same thing.
I love my rally, and I love my empire.
Well, now it's
Gosh
got a
darn it.
stronger core in it, and it hooks a lot more.
Oh no.
That one for you, I say drill it pin down.
No. What I'm gonna do, if I get one, I'm gonna drill it like I did my rally. Pin over bridge, kick to the right.
Oh, jeez.
That's exactly what I did in my rally. My rally's been great.
Yeah.
It's a good ball down for my empire. The way I look at it with the nuke forge, that'd be my first out of the bat. That'd be my strong piece. into my Empire, into my Rally.
True. I think the Nuclear Forge and the Pride Empire will be a very good combo. I'm not too sure about the Rally comboing it with combo with it because they're both on the same end of motion, very angular, but the Pride Empire is on the opposite of the smoother end. So I think the Nuclear and the Pride Empire will have a great 1-2 combo, but I'm not sure about the Rally having. I think the Rally and the Pride can have a good 1-2, but I don't think the Supra and the Nuclear will have a 1-2.
which I'm taking into consideration the lane breakdown at this point.
Yeah.
So we're starting. Say we're on 41-foot Don Johnson.
Okay.
Start with the nuke.
Yeah.
You're still gonna get length, but to be stronger back end. As it breaks down, you force move left. So you drop down into the Empire, where it's starting to get a little on the muddy side in the front. It's gonna be a little cleaner, with a little assistance from the ASIM core. And then when they really fry up, you can drop down into the Rally.
True.
Yeah,
And keep lanes open.
Yeah, it's literally the same exact cover. It's just got more additives to for higher volume oil.
Yep.
What are we talking about?
The nuke.
Nuclear Forge.
Oh, okay.
I think really all Storm has coming out right now is TNT Infused just came out.
Yep, the Magic Gem just came out. Or is that out? Is that out yet? Or
Magic Gem.
Yeah.
I think it came out this week. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I think I saw it
I
on
know.
Ripix.
I know Ken was using it the other night.
From what I've seen about the TNT,
and that kid we were both next to, John, was using it Friday.
Yeah. So the TNT Infused it says November 2023. Journey comes out soon. If not, it's already out.
The new Belmo ball.
Right, so that's what that. All right, I want to take a minute because that's something that's a very valid point. Not necessarily. So that is something that I feel like Storm has kind of been flying with in their marketing over the course of the last couple years, really. They have balls like, back when the Spectre was coming out, no one really knew it came out because as it was coming out, they announced the Phase 4, literally the week before it released. So everyone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get the Phase 4," and then granted that kind of worked out because it was only USB-C approved for like a month, and then it went away. So I mean that one was kind of like a happy accident. But then you have
They just did that recently with the clone and the Tor Dynamics. They announced them, and then a week before they were supposed to drop, they announced the Eternity Pi.
Right. And then they did it again with the Magic Gem and the TNT Infused.
Magic Gem, TNT Infused. Magic Gem's the other one that just came out. Yeah.
I would say this is what Storm gets for having like 5 different brands under the one umbrella.
3, but
yeah.
But then they also did it with the original TNT as well. I don't remember for the life of me what ball they kind of. I think it might have been the Summit. What ball they kind of subsequently announced with it, but
no, Summit was after.
No. I know the Summit was announced after the TNT, but what I'm saying is, I think like the week before the TNT was supposed to come out is when the Summit got announced that it was coming out like the following month.
I swear there was something else.
I think so. I don't. Maybe not, but
give me a second.
But that's my point, though. Like you have all these balls that really are probably better, or even just as good but cheaper options for. I'm going to say, John, what would you say? 75% of house bowlers. TNT Infused, Spectre had it been legal. Revenant as well was another one that kind of got like overshadowed.
The TNT and the Eternity were like back to back.
Okay. But so
I was thinking it was the Eternity, but
And like the Revenant got overshadowed too. And like a lot of these balls would be better for the average bowler, but then they
Yep.
go and announce this bigger ball, the Eternity Pie, the Journey,
Uh-huh.
the Phase
Yeah,
The
4.
house bowlers who
the
were used to
Revenant.
buying one ball a year,
Right.
finally find a ball that they're looking forward to getting, and then they announce something better.
I would say the Revenant,
Like
the Eternity Pie, and the Eternity and the TNT were all like weeks apart from each other.
right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I think it was the Revenant got overshadowed by the Eternity, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, probably. I'm just looking at Dan
and
King's reviews, and yeah, they're
right.
like all back to back.
But and then not only that, but there's a certain group that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I'm going to save their name for private. That openly admitted that a ball that got released 3.5 months ago or 3 months ago, they never did a review for, and yet they're technically a staffer of that brand, and they just did the review for it last week. Like, dude, the ball's been out for 3 months. What's the point?
What ball?
Like, the clone.
Oh. The most I heard about the clone was it was supposed to be kind of the bridge of the UFO and the UFO alert for those who love their UFO alert, but then it got kicked by USBC. So it was just kind of that bridge of making it illegal.
Yes, you're on the right track with that. That is, a lot of people were hoping it was going to be the replacement for the UFO alert, but it's not quite. It's a little stronger, but it's not as strong as the OG UFO.
Yeah, I think they literally just kind of combined the two.
It's kind of a niche combination of the two. I like mine a lot.
I would say it's the legality of the UFO and what made the UFO alert popular.
Yeah, and they tweaked the core numbers too slightly. But
kind of like they did with the Rubicon and the Tour Dynamics, kind of same deal.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
See, and that's why, like, Rotogrip, I feel like, honestly, and I'm probably gonna get some backlash for this, not necessarily for you guys, but just in general. I feel like Rotogrip has had the most success and when I say success, I mean they don't release as many dud balls, for lack of a better term, compared to the balls that do well. Like Storm releases a bunch of balls that do well. 900 Global releases a bunch of balls that do well. But for every 1 to 2 balls that do well, they have 3 to 4 that are kind of Exhibit A, the Phase 2, Phase 4, Phase 5, before Phase 4 is deemed illegal, Electrify Solid. Then with the Electrify Solid also came really that whole Electrify line. And the Hype Hybrid and Hype Pearl were not all that. They were deep, and those were all around, Phase 2 and Phase 3 has obviously been around for a while, but the more of them have been popular all around that same time. Then they redeemed themselves with the Hype Solid and the can't think of it right now. That's fine. They redeemed themselves with the Hype Solid, Rotogrip did, and then also kicked out more hustles that were great.
Mm-hmm.
Had the UC2, UC3 that were great, and then had one kind of ball. Then
UC3.
Global, yeah, correct. Then Global had Zen, amazing. Reality, amazing. Zen Master, good for the right bowler. Honey Badgers were garbage, in my opinion. Both the intensity and the revival were garbage.
Technically, those balls were released before Storm took over 900 Global.
The Badgers.
So, yeah. So those are a slight exception to the rule.
Fair. That's fair. But you get where I'm coming from here.
I do. No, I totally do. From what I understand, I guess Chris Schlemmer, who is like in charge of R&D at Rotogrip anyway. Apparently they're not afraid to take chances on some weird cover and core combinations at Rotogrip. So that's probably why there's a higher frequency of duds and successes than there are with, like 900 Global and Storm brand balls.
Yeah.
But I mean, every once in a while, you strike gold with something, and I think that's honestly
Mhm.
what they did with. Um, I just lost my train of thought, but yeah, with the hustles especially. I
Yeah,
mean, that's a ball that's never gonna go away. I feel like,
No,
and
correct.
if it does, they're just gonna make it better.
I would
It's
say
like the
See, and
it's
that's
such
motive
just it.
shock
a
line.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's like the motive shock line. They're not gonna get rid of the shocks ever.
Oh yeah, that's
no.
yeah.
It's that
They're,
it's
if
that type
if they
of ball.
do, they better be replacing it with something better.
Yeah, I would say it's that type of ball that like anyone can pick up, but it's also still great for bigger tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
hmm Well, and that's just it. Like, I mean, I feel like the hustle line is one of the most underrated lines in the entire bowling catalog.
Oh, by far.
You know what I
It
mean?
just doesn't
So
get
it's like,
talked about a lot.
right, because they think it is Darren Tang said it best. Both the hustles and then if you want to go to 900 global, the burner lines were the best bang for your buck balls you could get on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you can drop $100 easily getting any one of the hustles, any one of the burners.
Yep.
You could enter a tournament and you could
Get
easily
your
win
money
your
back
money
and
back.
then some.
Yep.
Um,
So,
I was just gonna say the only ball that was announced that hasn't been released yet from Storm is the new IQ or 78U,
Yeah, I just
which is
saw
supposed to
that.
be the counterpart to the new Blue Hammer.
yeah.
Really? Oh yeah, it
And yeah,
is.
Motive's been paving the way with microcell polymer the entire time.
Yep, they don't have to worry about hardness issues.
Nope.
See, and I just want to tie back just for a second with, going back to like 900 and Rotogrip and whatever. Rotogrip, you had, the Halo line that was absolutely amazing. The Rubicon line that was absolutely amazing. UC3, a little bit less, but as a general perspective, again, the Hustle line. Pipeline was kind of mediocre. The UFO line was great. And then you could kind of throw the clone in there. There were some balls within those lines that were duds, but the lines as a whole were such a huge success that they are, in my opinion, the number one brand of the SPI umbrella. Sorry, it's true.
Of Roto Group, you're saying is?
Rotogrip being the number one over of SPI of Storm Roto
I think they're
900,
just the
in my
most.
personal opinion. And Aaron can attest to this because when we threw SPI, I threw Rotogrip the most because I had the most success, the best looks with those bowling balls. And I personally feel that that's the best line of the three. John, I know, really likes 900 Global as a whole, but lately he's been liking Storm and Roto more with the Phase 3 and the clone.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, Definitely not disappointed in either of those two balls. I mean, they're my bread and butter right now. Um, but what was I just gonna say? I just saw something on my screen.
I think Roto Grip
Um,
is just kind of the most. I don't know. It just feels like the most talked about or recognizable out of the SBI because
yeah, I
when
And I
mean,
would agree.
like
And I
Storm
think
releases a ball, it gets talked about for a little bit, but it doesn't carry a lot a lot more
it
weight
doesn't
than
resonate as long with the bowling community at
no.
large.
Now,
Yeah.
I will say this: if I can get my hands on, one of the cell line, except a hot cell, I may actually drill one and throw one.
there you go.
Nuclear cell.
Nuclear, yeah.
Nuclear cell. That is my favorite cell ball that I've owned. And I've only owned one other one, and it was a hypercell fuse that had tons of holes plugged and re-drilled in it. But yeah, the only reason I got rid of it is I switched to 15 pound.
Here's what I'm kicking myself. At the time I started bowling, about the time I was getting ready to graduate high school, I had a chance to potentially purchase a mutant cell pearl,
Ooh.
and I didn't.
Yeah, but
My
Braedyn, I want. Oh, Sorry, Aaron, I thought you were done. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, my teammate that was younger than me was downsizing some of his collection so we can make room for more stuff.
Mm.
Zach,
Yeah,
what do you want
she
to say?
got that.
But
I believe John French actually threw his first 300-800 with a eternal cell.
yeah.
So
No, Braedyn, going kind of piggybacking off of what you said, where you think that Rotogrip is like the most talked about, most popular of the three. I think a big part of the reason for that is two simple guys, and that's Anthony Simonson and Chris Prather.
Probably.
I feel like they've really paved the way for Rotogrip.
They're just so consistent with
And
it.
and then you could
like,
also throw Wes on there as well. Wes
yeah,
Wall.
definitely.
I think Zach, actually, I've had this conversation with Doug before. Storm can honestly just discontinue every ball, but the Phase 2, the IQ Tour, and the High Road Pearl, and they would be able to stay afloat.
Yeah, and let the other two brands release new stuff.
And and just let the other two brands do their thing.
Do we have any more new thoughts on the Skyraptor Fury?
The Raptor Fury? I don't know why you
Raptor
keep calling it
Fury.
Skyraptor Fury.
Whatever.
haven't seen enough about it yet to really form my own opinion.
I was gonna say, like, I saw one other video posted about it, which I haven't had a chance to watch yet, from REX Reviews or whatever it is. It's Theo's channel, and Brandon's on his way back.
Okay.
So I haven't seen anything more. So I can't really form an opinion. John, you haven't really talked on that at all yet? I don't know if you know about it really.
No. I had a couple of videos pop up on my feed on YouTube, but I didn't watch them yet.
Yeah.
It just I know they compared it. They did a throwing test with the Jackal Ambush, the Raptor Fury,
The Ghost,
and the Ghost,
and the Fury.
Yeah, and it literally is just a combination of the two. That's what I can see from it. It's kind of that smoother motion that the ambush will give you, but also it hits like a ghost, though. If that makes sense.
That's fair.
Yeah. So it's literally just a combination of those two balls.
So, Brandon, once you kind of zone back into reality here, I know you're kind of at a little bit of an overwhelming moment there, without getting into too much detail. But is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, go over, anything at all, since we've done this last?
While I've been gone, what have you guys been talking about?
So we had John do the what's in his bag that we all did last time we were live.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking. I went over the rest of the data from the string pin thing, which you didn't really miss anything there. Okay. They got talking on the nuclear forge a little bit. I went on a little bit of a soapbox about how Storm is failing at marketing because they released two, in my opinion, better balls, and then all of a sudden, the week before release date, hey, we're announcing this bigger, better ball, and then they kind of go under the radar. It happened with the Spectre, which was kind of a happy accident. It happened with the Revenant. It happened with the Tour Dynamics, and now it just happened with the TNT Infused and Magic Gem.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I wouldn't really have an input on those because I haven't really done much of any looking into with those.
I've seen the TNT Infused thrown a few times, just by observing at leagues. It does look like a better core cover pairing than the original TNT. So I think this will get it a little more traction, and then because this is the hybrid part of it, and then the original TNT was just solid, wasn't it?
Yeah, E-Trex plus hybrid on the infused, and then E-Trex plus solid on the regular.
I think if they just go strictly Pearl with it, I think that's gonna be their big seller for the TNTs. I think
Yeah,
I'll sell both of
that's
those.
that's trending. It's trending in that direction. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Pearl TNT at some point.
The magic gem just is just literally we have the snap of the exotic gem, but the hittingness of the gem.
I wish they had done. So all 3 gems that are out right now are all micro tracks as the base formula.
Mm-hmm.
First gem was the solid. Second one,
Exotic.
yeah, exotic was the pearl. Magic is the hybrid. I wish they would use a different base cover formula
They'll probably
than
do that
micro
for the next
tracks. I
one.
mean, they've been using micro tracks everywhere. It seems like the duo micro tracks pearl, which is the first time it ever appeared in America. It's
Yeah.
but yeah, that E-Trex Plus is reactive, is 100% reactive. There is no additional additives added to it, no nano properties whatsoever. It's straight reactive resin.
They'll definitely probably move away from it if they do
Yeah.
another gem.
Well, it's like motor with the propulsion. Same thing. Like everything is getting that right now.
No, the
But
the leverage core, since they have 5 releases of that this year.
yeah.
The propulsion was just 2, but it's in 3 of the
Oh,
balls.
that's right. You're right. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
The leverage cover. Yeah.
Yeah, the leverage. Jesus, it's too much. They're gonna release a microcell of that cover, I swear, or like an infuse something.
Yeah. But no. So in one mark, I think that Rotogrip did miss was the RST line. Not the line as a whole. I thought the X2 was the best one. I threw all 3 of them. And I'm still to this day confused why they went solid pearl, or I'm sorry, why they went hybrid pearl hybrid instead of throwing a solid in there somewhere. And they're probably not going to.
They have no intention of having an RTS.
I personally feel like I personally feel like the RST line is done. Oh, John, go ahead.
So there is actually, if you want to pay the money, there are a few overseas options if you do want a solid RST.
I'm not that desperate.
I say one of them's like the navy blue and like lighter blue logo, right?
Let me actually see this.
I think that's the RSTX4 actually.
So
or maybe that was a rumored release
that
never happened.
They have the RSTX3 Pro. They have the RSTX2 Pro. They actually have a Rubicon Extreme.
I did see that.
That is an interesting one. But they also have some overseas gems in here as well. One is the Hyper Response Hybrid. One of them is just a recolor of the original.
Yeah, I can see.
But yeah, the X3 Pro is Extreme Track Solid, which is what the cover is on the Helios. And the X2 Pro is Microtracks? Hyper Response Pearl. So it's the Cosmos cover.
No.
So you got a couple
really
of options.
Hmm.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was gonna just ask like, why do they do like overseas balls? Is there a specific reason or just?
Apparently, it is culturally unacceptable in Europe and Asia to bowl against somebody with the same who has the same ball as you.
Really?
That's what it boils down to.
Wow.
So they make smaller batches in a wider variety of equipment, and that way it eliminates the chances of anyone having the same ball on any given pair during league. They call it
that's very interesting.
They refer to it as distasteful.
Interesting. Moto doesn't have any overseas balls, do they?
Yes, we do.
They
Do
do.
we?
Not a
Okay.
lot though.
They do.
Yeah, I was about to say I just
We-
never heard of any.
Black Jackal, Jackal Magic, Jackal Shred, Jackal Attack.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah, it's mostly jackals. And a couple
Mostly
venomous, I think.
Jackals. They had a couple. Tridents. Here, let me pull it up.
Yeah.
I actually have the motive stuff.
I was about to say I got
here.
okay. I got a few of them here. Yeah, I got
So
the
Zach,
magic
to answer your
jackal.
question, if
Yeah.
you do want a solid RST, it's going to cost you $199.95.
Mhm.
So the same as a UFO alert.
Jackal
Braedyn, when you get a
Shadow.
second, check your messenger.
What?
Check your messenger when you get a second.
Yep. Okay, I have the entire motive exclusive list right now in front of me. We have Jackal Shadow, Raptor Supreme, Raptor Altitude, Ultimate Jackal, Trident Tempest, 2020 Revolt, Jackal Attack, Jackal Magic, Jackal Slash, the Royal Revolt, Jackal Wild, Jackal Hunt, Black Jackal, Jackal Shred, Jackal Chase, Jackal Boss, Jackal Fury, Jackal Scar, Gold Revolt, and the Trident Shield.
Interesting.
I saw it, John. Yeah, so Braedyn, if you can.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
Jackal Shadow's the newest exclusive.
Oh, I can just.
So I'm having Braedyn throw some up on the stream real quick if you guys are able to actually view it for a second over on YouTube. John, you were talking about the pin decks and stuff earlier, so this kind of goes along with that. So when you get there, I don't know what lane that is. I don't see anything where it says. It's somewhere in the first bay.
Yeah, I don't see any indications of where that is.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's 9 and 10 because I recognize what's behind it. So I think that's lane 9
Okay.
or maybe 10. It's one of the two. Probably lane 10. But yeah, so you can kind of see the pin decks and stuff there, John, if you can pull that up on YouTube. So I would hope that they're getting new pin decks.
Oh, I see it. 1 second.
B, can you see that, Aaron? Both of you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're up on my second monitor, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd better be replacing those pin decks. I mean, they might as well.
Yeah.
Right.
If they're already getting new everything else, new pin decks is imperative.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since Jeff and Becky ran into the issues that they did with when they converted. I guess the original pin decks had settled. So you have your pin deck, which is slightly lower than the rest of your lanes. So when the ball would just about hit the pins, it would get airborne, and then it would lose all momentum.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
So, yep. So they fixed that.
Well, the good news is, oh, and he's got another phone call, apparently. Okay. Sure. I just lost my
So.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I can't hear you.
Thanks, Sean. No, my earbud fell out and then started connecting to my phone. I'm like, no, I need to connect to the iPad. But so we'll try and give him a couple more minutes and then we'll wrap this up because maybe we should have done it while he was here, but
Yeah, that's all right.
Because I need to get some sleep because I have to work tomorrow.
so yeah, so I gotta be in at 8:30.
I was up at like 5:30 this morning.
Yeah, this was my first night sleeping past 8 first morning sleeping past 8 in I'm gonna say about 2 weeks.
I'm used to
Yeah,
sleeping until about 11 or noon on Sundays.
How early did you have to get up this morning, you said?
5:30, which is my normal time up on average.
And how far away do you have to go to get into your stand or wherever you hunt?
Half an hour drive, 40.
So that's a bit of a challenge
Yeah.
on a
We
Sunday morning when you're sleeping in.
we go to Maine.
Yeah, we go down to Maine. It's the same
Oh,
length
so you
drive for
come
me
out
to
to
get to
me.
work. I pretty much drive to the old house.
Now, are you gonna harvest the deer?
Oh yeah,
Like-
we'll process. We'll do all our own processing.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. Some people just shoot them because they can, and sometimes they'll either donate the meat to somebody who does process.
Oh, I love venison.
Excellent. That's perfect.
I'm taking a portion of that and making jerky out of it.
Excellent.
I expect some.
If I don't eat it all first, my last batch was that good. I ate 90% of it
Aaron.
within 2 days.
I said, Aaron, all I'm asking for, Aaron, is one piece. That's all I want, is one piece.
My buddy famously makes burgers out of all of his leftover venison. He does a 5-to-1 ratio of venison to bacon, and he runs it through a
Yep.
meat grinder. And he makes burgers. He makes meatloaf. He makes meatballs. He makes all this stuff out of it, and it's so good.
You need to have a high fat meat to mix with it because it's such a lean piece of meat,
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
but it's still nice and tender and flavorful.
Yep. Not super gamey, if gamey at all.
Mm.
It depends on how old the deer is. Also, the younger the buck, the less game.
Yep. So you
Doe
got what?
tends-
A year? Is yours a yearling, or is it like a year and a half, 2 years?
Mine's more like a year and a half, 2 years, so it's not really gonna be that gamey. Now, if I got like the grizzled bastard, he's gonna be kind of gamey.
Oh
I
yeah.
wonder if you, Aaron, I wonder if you got backstrap.
I had backstrap and I have tenderloin still.
No. Remember the one from 2 years ago?
Oh no, I don't know. It wasn't backstrap. No, it wasn't backstrap. I can tell you that right now. Backstrap was when living lower on the hill. I was up on the very top.
Oh, okay.
I was borderline of our neighbors.
Oh, gotcha. So you remember what deer I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know.
So
The only deer I was actually able to walk up and kind of pet.
yeah. Wait, it was what 2 years ago, Aaron?
Roughly.
2.5. This couldn't have been more than, I'm gonna say 6 months old, if that. Was on Max's property, just chilling there, and we were able to walk up to it. We know, you're not supposed to do that. We know, but I mean,
Yeah.
we were very seldom and careful about it. We weren't like all over it.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know what he's got going, but I know all of us got to get up tomorrow, so maybe we should just call it. I do the outro anyway, so it's fine. So, alrighty. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. This was Smack the Rack Podcast, episode 3.
Yep.
Dozy making one last appearance. I love it.
Yeah.
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. It's no way to help out our channel. For 607 Ballbusters, I'm Zach.
I'm Braedyn.
I'm Aaron.
I'm John.
And that's Dozer and Brandon signing off for him. And we'll be talking to you guys later. Peace.
Peace.